Way to make Today we're going to be. This evening we'll be discussing the. I will be discussing the astronomical origin and meaning of Christmas. There's been quite a few misrepresentation about Christmas. You have African scholars who have made the claim that Christmas is a European holiday or Albion holiday, but African scholars call them white people. They'll say it's a white people holiday. I myself, because of this misconception, didn't celebrate Christmas for about 10 years. When I was in college at Glasgow State College, now Rowan University, and I was a member of the Black Culture Club. And the president at the time was a brother. And the first time that I ever heard my freshman year, college, 1987, 1987, my freshman year at Glasgow State College. And that was in December 1987 as they were, we had a meeting. And the president at the time said that Christmas is a white man's holiday and that we should celebrate Kwanzaa, that Kwanzaa is our holiday and Christmas is the white man's holiday, quoting him. And that was the first time that I ever heard that. Growing up celebrating Christmas. And so, that I re-looked at it, and there was a period of after graduating in the 1994 to 2004, I didn't celebrate Christmas at all. Christmas, Thanksgiving, Valentine's Day, um, July 4th, January 1st, Halloween. And so thinking that they were European holidays. In fact, there's a book a 2-volume book written by Barry Shingle, African European holidays, African peoples genocide, mental genocide, European holiday and African people's mental genocide by Barry Shingle. Now, the title, and analyzing that title, it's distorted title because he's saying European holidays and African people's mental genocide, so that the mental genocide is caused by these, as he called them, European holidays. What I would say is that the misrepresentation of our holidays, the misrepresentation of Moorish holidays, the distortion of European Moorish holidays creates the mental genocide or apartheid. So they're not, so Barry Shingle perpetuated the mental genocide among our people by calling them European holidays. Because that's an apartheid, meaning that he, for whatever reason, the effect is still the same. Barry Shingle, with that title, perpetuated the separation of our culture and gave our culture to the Europeans, because you said European holidays. And in Barry Shingle's book, 2-volume book, there's no astronomical references, teachings in his book. Barry Shingle just simply gave the constructive meanings created by the Europeans. So he took the Europeans' constructive meanings and presentation of our holidays and placed that in his book. So we're going to, I knew it's very important that I set a foundation here of the misrepresentation. Now I'm going to read a quote here that I've been reading for the past couple weeks. The basic tool for the manipulation of reality is the manipulation of words. If you can control the meaning of words, you can control the people who must use them. Use the words. I'll reread that. The basic tool for the manipulation of the reality is the manipulation of words. If you can control the meaning of words, you can control the people who must use the words. In this case, since we're going to be dealing with measurement tools, astronomical measurement tools, astronomical measurement devices, astronomical uh, points of references that people call symbols, all right, that we're going to substitute words for symbols or astronomical measurement tools and devices. So not only have they dealt with words misrepresented or constructed, created constructive or connotated meanings for words, the Europeans have created constructive meanings for astronomical measurement tools, measurement devices, astronomical points of references that people call symbols. Right? So be clear that I'm not referring to them as symbols, referring to them as astronomical messages, astronomical measurement devices. So I'm orientating you to how to look at this properly. Orient means rise. So I'm raising you, stimulating your mind, and giving you the proper direction, giving you the proper roadmap, proper guidance, challenging you to relook at what you've been taught with solid references. All right? So I'll be coming from some points that I'll be referring to is in my book, The Masonic Compass and Square, and their connection to measurement and timekeeping. You can go to mooresandmasonry.org to get my book. All right? So let's look at this. Now, on page 100 of my book, I display the sunset and sunrise charts. I mean, I'm giving you some math. I'm orientating you to the proper structure, proper concept, sunrise and sunset charts. That's a clear reference. All right, so let's look at what is Christmas. I'm going to show you through using the sunrise and sunset charts, which you can Google, what Christmas is. Now, there are 2 points where the sun is at its outer limits. It's extreme northern point and extreme southerly point. These points, these imaginary points of references were charted by our ancestors thousands of years ago. They're called solstitial points. The summer solstice, which is June 21st in the northern hemisphere, and the winter solstice, which is December 21st in the northern hemisphere. Those are 2 points where the sun is at its extreme points, this furthest northerly point, which is the summer solstice, and this extreme southerly point, which is the winter solstice. This now I have to set foundation here. In order to understand what Christmas is, you must understand these points, these astronomical facts. Now, in my book, Masonic Compass Square, I show using the sunset, sunrise chart. I marked every 7 days from June 21st and showed you every 7 days there is a 10 degrees. There's a 10 degrees decrease in the day. The sun is at its, that's called the summer solstice, the sun is at its highest point of elevation. So what's going to occur, the apparent motion of the sun is going to stop its apparent northerly motion and begin to descend ever so gradually to the southerly point. So that's what's called the summer solstice. Sun stands still. It stands, the apparent motion stops its northerly point and moves to the southern point. Now, in Masonry, they refer to this as St. John's Day. St. John's Day in Masonic orders is celebrated on June 24th. There are several European countries or 7 European political zones in Phoenicia. European political zones, Roman states in Phoenicia, and called Europe, which is a collective body of Roman states, celebrate the St. John's Day, which is actually the celebration of the summer solstice. So for 10 days, for 7 days, every 7 days, there's a 10-degree decrease. And so it's decreasing. So the days be getting shorter. It's no longer getting longer. The days are getting shorter and shorter and shorter. And then you have what they call the autumnal equinox. So there's 2 points where the sun crosses the equator. They're called equinoctial points. You have your autumnal equinox and your vernal equinox. So the sun is on the equator, leaving the tropic of Cancer and entering the tropic of Capricorn and continuing. So there's the equal day and equal night. The sun is continuing to descend in September and October and November, and days are getting shorter and shorter. Now we get to December. We get to December 21st, which is the shortest day of the year, and this June 21st is the longest day of the year. So on December 21st, the sun dies. I mean, the sun is at its lowest point of declination, its lowest descent point, and hovers for 3 days. 3 days, the sun is in the tomb. So Jesus dies on the cross. The sun is at its lowest point. You can go on page 100 or Google sunrise and sunset charts. There's nothing to believe in. It's what you're going to calculate. So there's nothing to believe in. It's all in calculation. Go to the sunrise. I'm giving you the reference. The sunrise and sunset charts. You will see what I'm saying. You'll see by looking at the sunrise and sunset charts. I took every 7 days. You'll see a 10-minute, 10 degrees, 10 minutes decrease. Now we're going. Now we're gonna go to the increase. We're gonna go. We go. Now we have the death of Jesus. So Jesus dies every year, not 1 year. Jesus dies on the cross every year. I mean, there's that astronomical phenomena occurs every year. And Jesus lies in the tomb for 3 days. That's what's called the winter solstice. After the third day, Jesus rises again from the dead. So now you begin to see that there, as opposed to being minus, you'll see that plus sign. Because you see that 1 degree or a half a degree, a half a minute or a 1 minute increase. So now every 7 days, you'll see a gradual, you'll see a 10-minute increase in the day. And it's gradual. You'll see that, you'll notice that in the sunrise and sunset chart. I challenge you to look at it for yourself. So it's not Abdullah said. So you say, oh, Abdullah directed us to the sunrise and sunset charts that you can Google. And I saw what Abdullah said. I am confirming what Abdullah directed us to look at. I am confirming what Abdullah said by looking at the sunrise and sunset charts. So now it becomes my own. I don't have to say Abdullah say anymore. I can now refer to the charts and show people what Abdullah Bey is saying. We got to teach like this. I'm doing this because I'm also giving you methodology of instruction. Follow my methodology of instruction. Not you just talking on the top of your head. This is math we're dealing with. All right? So now we're setting, the groundwork here on what Christmas is. It is the birth of the Son. You want to say rebirth, because it's born every year and dies and born again. Dies and born again. So that story is based in an astronomical phenomenon. It's not made up out of thin air with no references of truth. So I said to you once again, Bear Shingle wrote the book, European Holiday and African Mental Genocide. See the distortion? This African scholar. See the distortion? You know for yourself. Now, how is that European holiday? They didn't even chart that. They didn't chart the solstitial points and equinoctial points. They didn't measure this. So, on the board, the astronomical meaning, the season, the astronomas, help me out, Tam. Astronomers, thank you. Thank you, Tamara. Yes, Tamara coined this. Tamara Ill. Well, she took mas in the word Christmas, all right? And this is astronomy, all right? So astromas, meaning astronomers. astronomers. Damn, chopping it up. Astronomers. So we have here first the tree, natural fake. Now, this is a live tree. This was not made in a factory. Why a live tree and not a fake tree or artificial tree? This represents life. Trees give off oxygen, all right? We, carbon dioxide, trees give off oxygen. So you have a tree in your house, it's giving off oxygen, all right? So, because give them why? Oxygen. You become that connection, that live connection with nature. An artificial tree is not going to give off oxygen. What connection do you have with an artificial tree? So this is why a live tree, life. Now you see the background, you have the stars, the background of the stars. Because you have the stars do not move. And that's it. Their stars are fixed. It appears to be moving. So there's a background. So the lights on the tree representing the background, the stars. And also the tree is what's referred to as the axis mundi, the world's axis. This knowledge is universal. The bulbs also dealing with the representing of the stars. Now, the Christmas, the star on the top of the Christmas tree. In October and November and December, there are three major heavenly bodies that are focal point, that are aligned. You see on December 24th, you'll see the alignment of Orion, Taurus, and Sirius on December 24th, that alignment. Now, between the November 22nd to November 24th, you have what's called the heliacal rising of Orion. That is referred to as the jet pillar. The jet pillar, the Orion is lying on his back and is rising. So that jet, D-J-E-D, jet pillar is emblematic of Orion belt. So you see that alignment is going to line up Orion, Taurus, and Sirius. Now, on December 31st, because I'm tying to the star, December 31st at 11:59 and 11:59 and 50 seconds. 11:59 and 50 seconds, you hear what? You hear what? 11:59 and 50 seconds, you hear what? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Happy Sirius! Happy Sirius in the midheaven! Happy Sirius in the midheaven! Sirius is in the midheaven, means the highest point in the sky, and can be seen in most parts of the world. Happy Sirius in the midheaven. African, European holidays, African people mental genocide. See? It's a shame that our African scholars don't tell the truth about our culture. They got our brothers and sisters. They are part of the indoctrination. I have to challenge them. Of course, I've been challenging the Europeans, but I got to challenge these African scholars who have time after time say that these are European holidays. I have to challenge my African scholars. The little study that you've done. You have what degree and this degree and the little study that you've done. That you haven't studied in depth. All you've done was taking the constructive. That's the constructive. You've done no real research. You've taken all you're doing is regurgitating the constructive meaning. That's the constructive meaning written by the Europeans. Meaning they've translated the stories and transliterated words. You're part of that. So continuing right along. Now I'm going to tie, since I'm already on January 1st, to open this up. January 20th. Sirius is in the night sky the longest. January 20th, the presidential inauguration, which will occur, all right, on January 20th of 2021. Somebody going to be inaugurated. I don't know who, which, whatever. All right. So that ritual, that energy of June 20th, it's a ritual, a astronomical ritual. They're maintaining the culture, the energy, the ritual. They're practicing our rituals and science. They are in alignment with the stars, in alignment with the energy. They are in harmony, meaning that they are tapping into the divine, the unseen world. They're reflecting the unseen world through the ritual. Come on, my African scholars. Come on. Look at what you're doing. You're not empowering our people by saying that's their stuff, their stuff. So, my dear star Sirius, how beautiful thy are. You rise so high above the sky. And twinkle, twinkle, little star. How I wonder where you are. Up above the sky so high, January 1st, the highest point in the sky. You're in the mid-heaven. Up above the sky so high. Like a twinkle in the sky. Twinkle, twinkle, little star. My dear little Sirius, high, high in the sky thy art. All right? So we have the, help me out, bow. Let's look at the bow. Now, when you have circles, that represents the feminine. When you see straight lines, that's masculine. So anything in any artwork, any image you see, circle, feminine, regeneration, cyclical, rebirth, renewal, the masculine, straight lines. Because there's not a renewal, there's a straight. There's not cyclical. So it's not doesn't represent rebirth. Straight. All right, now we have here the stockings. Now let me explain here. The shamans, once again, my African scholars. The outfit, your outfit, our outfit that this European wears every year. These Europeans wear every year, and they call themselves Santa Claus. Wearing our outfit, our shaman outfit. That's a shaman outfit. Shaman wore black boots. So these shamans were put on to go outside. And they would collect mascara mushrooms, red and white mushrooms, which contains hallucinogenic properties. So the reindeer, because the reindeer ate the mascara mushrooms. And so the reindeer is high and hallucinogenic. So the reindeer appears to be flying because the reindeer is high on mascara mushrooms. So you decorate the tree with mascara or red and white candy canes, emblematic of mascara mushrooms. The mushrooms, the stockings, the shamans entered the house through the chimney. And they hung the mascara mushrooms on the mantle to dry. Mascara mushrooms being hung on the mantle to dry. There's truth in this. Reclaim us. Reclaim your holiday. Reclaim it. But I'm not telling you just to simply reclaim it. I am explaining, empowering you, stimulating your mind, and challenging you to re-examine. Now we have the wreath. The wreath is the ring of Saturn, Capricorn. So the sun in Capricorn. The sun enters Capricorn on December 21st. Saturn rules who? What? Who? Capricorn. The rings of Saturn, your wreath. The sleigh. The Big Dipper. The Big Dipper and Little Dipper. The Big Dipper and Little Dipper. Now, if you look at the Big Dipper and the Little Dipper, it's a ladle, all right? Big Dipper, all right? So appears to be like a sleigh. So the Big Dipper and Little Big Dipper align and points to and Polaris. Polaris is a navigational star. The Big Dipper, Little Dipper used in navigation. The Navy have stream knowledge of the Big Dipper and Little Dipper and Polaris, as those are navigational points of references. So Santa Claus goes around the world in a 24-hour period delivering gifts. The Big Dipper goes around Polaris, and Polaris is in the north. Santa Claus lives where? North Pole. That's Polaris. Polaris is the North Pole, the navigational star used by the Navy. Where are you, my African scholars? Let's raise our people up. Help me teach the truth about our holidays. The antlers. Tamara, you know what article that is, what wampum that is in the great binding law of peace, Iroquois Constitution. The antlers, because I want to give them, and in the one of the wampums in the Iroquois Constitution, great binding law of peace. This Tamara's been in that, and she opened my eyes up to have me direct me to check this out, Abdullah, and and then of course expanded my mind. Now the antlers, that is a crown tying to royalty with the, because I want to give the societal social meaning as well connection. So the crown on the lords that she has up here, the Iroquois Confederacy. So we talked about the reindeer. The reindeer's wearing the antlers. The reindeers. So you have here the Big Dipper again, the sleigh, and the reindeer, and Rudolph, with your nose so bright, won't you guide my sleigh tonight? So Rudolph leading the way. And I said that on December 24th, you have Orion, Taurus, and Sirius line that are in conjunction. Now, Sirius flickers as red, white, and blue in different parts of the year and different parts of the century. So one of the colors that red Sirius flickers as is red. Rudolph's nose is what? Red. So there's periods of times where Sirius is blue, periods of times where Sirius is red, periods of times where Sirius is white. The three wise men. The Three Kings Day, once again, have to tie this back to that conjunction of Orion, Taurus, and Sirius. Orion is the three wise men. But a heliacal rising of Orion occurs in November 22nd. So Orion was called the pointer or archer or guider or pointer, pointing the way, because to find other stars, it's easy to, once you locate Orion, the three wise men, you can find other stars, because that's why Orion is referred to as the bow and arrow. Cupid, the bow and arrow, the guider, the archer. Give you these different references you've heard over the years. going through school, because lion is the guider leading to other constellations. That's the three wise men. The three wise men follow the stars. So you have the three Kings Day. Talked about the candy canes, the stockings. Now we're going to St. Nicholas. The etymology of Nicholas, Nichch, Nike, 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 Nicht, is victory. OL, which is the LOAS, is people. The victory of the people. But here, it's looking at what is occurring here. The control of the people. The character of this St. Nicholas, giving toys, very giving. Now, where did that come from? What is that? Is that based in someone actually who lived? St. Maurice. St. Maurice, a philanthropist. He is the German patron saint of an entire country. A Wesley Snipes looking man. A Wesley Snipes, I mean Wesley Snipes complexion, is the patron saint of an entire country. Where's my African scholars at? So, St. Maurice, the Moor. See, we've given us honor. We don't know who we are. St. Maurice was a philanthropist, loved children, gave out gifts. So they took that from us. They took St. Maurice from us. They took St. Maurice from us, and they claimed St. Maurice. I mean, they claimed the life of St. Maurice. And what? Europeanized him. You see what I'm doing? Oh, that's the white man's stuff. I'm not doing, I'm showing you where they got it from. So you don't throw the baby out with the bathwater and just throw everything away, but put it in its proper perspective. I'm a Moor now. I'm Moorish conscious. I don't deal with that European holiday stuff. I deal with Moorish science. What's more science? You know, more science. There's more science. Well, you know, more science. More science. You know what you Ali. What's more science? You know, more science. They can't even articulate it. Ask a nationalized Moor what more science is. Serious. I'm serious. Please. Please. Ask a conscious and nationalized Moor what more science is. And I want you to see how clear they are in articulating it. Know what Ali is going to come out their mouth? They're going to say, I, self-law master. They're going to repeat more science as if they're explaining it. Like, if I, what's more science? You know, more science. You know, more science. That's not explaining. And I'm only doing this, my brothers and sisters. I'm doing this to challenge you to think. I'm doing this. I'm giving you a mirror. I'm not making mockery. I'm giving you a mirror of what we do. showing you that we know little. We are a bunch of parrots. Can't explain anything. That's what I'm doing. You need to look, you need a mirror. I'm your mirror. I'm your mirror today. So look at ourselves. Let's challenge ourselves. Let's to ascend to a higher state of consciousness, a higher state of knowing. Come out of her. Come out of her. Go back to that state of mind of our foremothers and forefathers. All right, so make sure I've covered everything here. That I've covered everything. So we have a couple questions. So we got time for questions. I got some time. I didn't go. Man, I know I can go. I was just trying. I want to welcome some questions. Yes. Mhm. Up front, right here. See, yes.
Okay. Looks like we have one from Cara L. Amor Tatum Bay. The first question was, um, how and why did they come down the chimney? Now, does that have something to do with the hallucinogens that they were eating or what?
All right. Now, that's a good question. Like that, I'm not quite sure, but that the shamans and my reading several references to the shamans and climbing through, because I that's the question that I posed myself of why they came through the chimney, because Santa Claus did come, and in the story Santa Claus comes through the chimney and enters the house. All right, so that I am not quite sure why they came through the chimney. That's a question that I asked and have not been able to find that answer. I'm just going to give you, I'm not going to make something up.
All right, so we do have another one from the same one here. It says, um, "Why did our ancestors celebrate this?" And it says, "What is the significance of the Big Dipper rotating around Polaris?" I remember you and I, Abdullah, were talking one day about the Big Dipper and
Hmm.
how it rotates and kind of forms the swastika.
Yes,
Can you
yes.
also show that on the board as well
All right,
and explain that?
yes. All right. Now, the first question is, why did our ancestors celebrate this? I want, who is that, a sister or brother who asked that question? All right. Now, in explaining this for the past 50 minutes, that this is the purpose, all right, the purpose of my presentation is to explain why ancestors celebrated this. Not only did our ancestors celebrate it, we charted it. We this is this is not just a mere celebration. This is a knowledge of astronomy, of timekeeping and measurement, of charting. I mean, we charted the seasons. So what Christmas is, so you have the winter solstice, which is one of the seasons, which is the winter solstice is the death of the Son or death of Jesus. Now, we charted when the sun rises again. This is knowledge is used for planting, for navigation, for timekeeping. So this is not, all right, we're going to move away from the celebration because I don't want us to get stuck in the celebration. Because you can celebrate all year long if you don't have the mathematical knowledge and astronomical knowledge, you're going to perish. Celebrate all you long. Celebrate all you long, all you want. If you do not have the mathematical and scientific knowledge, you will perish. You cannot run civilization. All right, because I want her to be clear on why. So we're gonna let's move. All right. What I'm saying is let's remove the celebration right now, because that's secondary. It's secondary. What's primal is the mathematical and scientific knowledge. That's rulership. Astronomy is the foundational knowledge of building civilization. Without that, you have no civilization. You have no civilization. Let me explain. Thank you for the question. Thank you. Appreciate you on that. All right. Let's look at that. You can't, without astronomical knowledge, you will starve. You won't be able to plant. I mean, you won't have knowledge of planting, knowledge of harvesting. You won't have knowledge of making a calendar. You won't have knowledge of timekeeping, knowledge of navigating ships, knowledge of direction, of creating maps. That's cartography. So the basis of cartography, map making, is spherical trigonometry and astronomy. The basis of navigation is spherical trigonometry and astronomy. The basis of calendar making is spherical trigonometry and mathematics, the astronomy. The basis, meaning they'll even use our knowledge of astronomy in building houses. I mean, as far as, all right, well, we're going to place the windows on the east side, all right? The front of the house with the windows will be placed on the east side. Why? Because that's where exactly. So when it's during the winter time, the house will get more of the sunlight. I got to give them something basics. I got to give them something basic. All right? I'm not going to be over your head. I don't talk like that. This is, yes, that knowledge. That's just something fundamental. But it's still astronomy. It's still astronomical knowledge. I mean, the East, that's still astronomy. That's still knowledge of, all right, where the East is. All right? So now the answer the question of why the celebration. I first want to make clear on that we charted this, we had this knowledge. The celebration is giving honor and recognition and having a mental connection with Mother Nature and that charting. So the celebrations, it lasts for 7 to 10 days. It was no one day. What's that? One day. One day. One day. No, you're talking about elaborate. Because you're talking about something that's very important, something that's phenomenal, that's, giving great honor and appreciation and, all right? Yes, Please. She's his mic. Yeah.
Okay, I found it. You mentioned about the antlers and building
Yes.
government. The Iroquois acknowledged during it's in the Iroquois Constitution. It's Wampum 28, and it talks about the installment of a lordship in the ceremonies that occur. So it's Wampum 28, third paragraph. It say, we now do crown you with the sacred emblem of the deer's antler, the emblem of your lordship. And it also talks about when a lord is disposed of his lordship for not honoring his duty, which means he's the keeper of the bread. He is provided the title. He's appointed the title by the noble, the clan mother, which is called the noble. And it said, when a lord is to be disposed, his war chief shall address him as follows. So you, whatever your name is, disregard and set a knot, the warning of your women relatives. So you fling the warnings over your shoulders to cast them below. Mothers, I have now disposed of your Lord. I'll now return to you the emblem and the title of lordship, therefore disposed. Behold the brightness of the sun, and in the brightness of the sun's light, I dispose you of your title and remove the sacred emblem of your lordship. I remove from your brow the deer's antlers, which was the emblem of your position and token of your nobility. So it was a sacred emblem in
That's
the
why I want to make that. Yes.
Iroquois
Yes.
Constitution.
Yes. I want to make that connection too, that societal royalty connection.
Do and I like I just want to say, can you elaborate more on the four seasons? How the four seasons are being honored and respected today as a celebration of whole humanity, even the animals. Like you have the winter, you have the fall, you have the summer, and you have the spring. Can you elaborate on that, dealing in nature, dealing with the astral plane, far as longitude, latitude, dispensations, the people depending on them, the animals and the people themselves on Earth depending on it. Can you elaborate on that?
All right, but you're all right, but your initial part of your question, Shem, is how do the people honor? I've heard the initial part. I understand the entire question, but I want when the initial was part is how do the people honor? No, I'm saying they don't right now. What I'm saying is, all right. No, hear me out. They don't. You don't. I mean, you don't see even among Europeans elaborate festivals. They're not. They're not. Well, Christmas is. They only celebrate Christmas for one day. They don't do 10 days. And then are they have a knowledge, an actual I'm talking about including Europeans. Do they have an actual knowledge of it? I mean, are they really honoring it? I mean, are they all right? What I'm saying, there is no evidence based on their appreciation, honor of nature. No, it's not. It's all right. Once again, it's not just the ceremonies, it's the knowledge too. So the ceremonies are not getting kept, but the knowledge. See, the knowledge is the most important part because that's how you perpetuate it. Because you're actually you're going to fight to ensure this lifeline that continues with nature. You know, you got companies that are polluting. I mean, where's the massive protests of millions of people Where are millions of people protesting these companies? I'm showing you that where's the honor? Right, right. Absolutely. It's not. Yep. So they suppress the matrilineal and matriarchal system. So their connection. So this connection with nature is not really there in the consciousness. It's in the subconscious mind, but you have that subconscious mind has to rise to the surface of the conscious mind. It's not there. I don't see consciousness. I'm talking even among Europeans. That's not talking just about our people. Also, Europeans of consciousness, even among Europeans.
All right. So the other part of that question from Cara L. Amora Tatum Bay. What is the significance of the Big Dipper rotating around Polaris?
All right. Well, the Big Dipper in a year time forms the swastika. So the 4 points, directions of the swastika is actually the Big Dipper. All right. So you have the Big Dipper here. 3 months later, Big Dipper's here. Big Dipper's here. Big Dipper here. That forms the swastika. The swastika is an astronomical, that's why I didn't say symbol. The swastika is an astronomical message of that knowledge of the Big Dipper going around Polaris throughout the course of the year. That's what the swastika is. So you just saying well-being, that's abstract. These have astronomical messages. These are astronomical guiding points. And then we have to ascend to this knowledge. We have another question? To keep nature, to keep us going, to perpetuate life among ourselves, or otherwise we're going to be out of here because we're going to pollute her to a point where she's going to rebel and kill you. I don't know what else I got to be blunt about this. I'm going to be, because Mother Nature is going to protect herself. Mother Nature is going to sustain herself even if she has to kill you. Mother Nature will kill you if she has to sustain your. This disrespect and lack of knowledge will cause our demise. Because you got to understand this cause and effect. For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. All right? This is real. This is real talk. We got to talk like this.
Professor Abdul, you are taking this thing to a high pinnacle of knowledge because the very thing that Professor Abdul said.
Yeah, draw on the board, yes.
Me and the Lord Soul brother there had a conversation on the side before he got started. And I said, brother, he said, what about the way they poison the earth? I said, you know what's going to happen? I said, the cosmic womb, is going to, like Professor Abdul said, is going to destroy them. She will bring forth her wisdom and knowledge.
Yep.
To create the cosmic order, the L's, to straighten the matter out. Thank you, Professor. When you went there, you summed it up. Hear what he say? You don't have to worry about us. She'll protect, like a mother protect her children.
No, I'm saying to destroy us too. We don't get our house in order.
Absolutely.
You know, hey, we ain't a job.
But I would also be remiss to make known that
make it bigger.
Make the Iroquois.
Waste the thing. I finished this. Yes.
That the Iroquois also They also utilize the evergreen tree as the grapevine and
Yes.
laws of peace as the
Yes.
symbol to gather at for their fire council. They use the evergreen tree, which is representative of the tree of peace. So that's what they utilize to gather and to counsel one another to create peace and harmony amongst the nation. So that became a symbol of peace. And on the top of that piece is the eagle, which we use that eagle, the aquila, is used throughout all civilizations, and it represents to be able to see far, to be able to see far, which in the time period of our further ancient ancestors of Ekapata, they utilized the all-seeing eye. So all this knowledge has been passed down along the way up into the day. So thank you, Brother Abdullah, for helping to restore the true meaning
Absolutely.
of the season,
Absolutely.
because I just hate, thank you.
I'll direct the camera to Ahmad over here. Ahmad, you want to do the thing? You want to explain it? All right. So Ahmad is drawing the Big Dipper. All right. So this is the Big Dipper going around. The Big Dipper going around Polaris throughout the year, and it forms the swastika. He's drawing. He's drawing. I think yeah, so they can see it. All right. That's what he's doing now. So you see the North Star, which is Polaris. There's a hockey team called the North Star. That's a navigational star that's used heavily in the Navy. I want to be clear because I say military, that's too, because the Navy uses that. The Navy. Yeah. Yes. Because the Navy has an observatory. It's the naval. You can go to the Naval Observatory. There is a star chart. Let me explain. We're not given this knowledge in school. They just teach you about the planets. That's all right. As far as knowledge of the stars, this is taught in the Navy Academy. Those who would, that you're talking about navigating. So this is the Naval Observatory. In the Navy, they actually produce star charts because they use that for navigating ships, for creating maps. So maps, navigating ships, calendars. See, that's civilization. Without this knowledge, how are you going to run civilization? So we got to get back to this, and we're doing that by explaining the astronomical meaning, origin of these holidays, starting with Christmas, the United Republic of Morocco. And I want to thank Tamra for putting this together and suggesting how to do this. Giving our people back our holidays. That they're not just merely celebrating. No, 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 no. It's the key that we have the astronomical knowledge of it. Because the celebration is secondary. That we don't make the celebration primal. Not that but don't make it primal. That's secondary. The function of it is primal. The astronomical function of it, navigating ships, making calendars, making maps, that's primal. All right, so this is the swastika. This is the swastika here. Yeah, so you see it dotted in red. Yeah. He has it dotted in red. They can see it? All right, so you can that the points here is dotted in red that forms the swastika. So it's not a mere symbol of good luck. That means nothing. That means nothing. What are you saying? Good luck. I mean, I don't. What does that mean? Good luck. I mean, let's analyze that. What is good luck? I mean, for real, because we just say things and we parrots. Like, what is good luck? Like, what is luck? Is it luck, or is the natural order? Is it luck, or is there are laws that are operating there? There's universal laws. People just say luck because they don't have the knowledge of universal law. Everything according to law. Nothing happens by chance. Everything happens according to order and law. So there's the universe, you have this divine intelligence. She is highly intelligent. So the unseen world, nature is the manifestation of the unseen, this divine intelligence. So you also that all seeing eye is also emblematic of that divine intelligence. This is this natural order. How does that happen? There's a divine intelligence there. All right. So I want to thank y'all. So to get my book, The Masonic Compass is Square, and the connection to measurement and timekeeping, as well as Moors and Masonry, etymology, vocabulary, the Illuminati, illumination of the mind, how her Venus and Moon rule. Go to Moors and Masonry.org. It's on the board. You got a. I'm good. See, she got thought ahead. Mooresandmasonry.org. I want to thank you again. All right. On December 19th, United Republic of Morocco will be having her annual Winter Solstice celebration. This is the first annual Winter Solstice celebration, December 19th, from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The flyer will be forthcoming. That's Saturday, December 19th, from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m., the Winter Solstice celebration. They'll be here at the United Republic of Morocco headquarters. We'll also have be broadcast. So more information will be forthcoming. All right. Thank you again. Peace, everyone, for allowing me to come into your living room.